There are numerous times when I'm starting a rehearsal and students come in the room and they literally just, they sigh a moment of relief because the stress or the things that challenge them in their other environments in the building or in the community are gone.
Here at Carpenter, we have essentially 4-year-olds all the way up to age 11. And students start off with knowing what the notes are. 434 students participate, everyone. We get their first opportunities at the public school level through our Fine Arts program, working on the recorder as a 4th grader. And then every student as a 5th grader has the opportunity to play an instrument for free.
Everybody put your hand up in front of you like this. Thumb up, thumb down, thumb out. Now make a squid. Good. Do that again. Just shake your hand like that. You know, like you're a little toddler, like you're like 3 years old and you're, or maybe 1 year old and you're like learning how to sway goodbye and go like this.
But we have about 85% of students at Clague Middle School that are participating in choir, band, orchestra, or the world drumming ensemble. So the arts are a really big part of our culture at Clague. We have thriving choral program, orchestral program, and band program. In the orchestra program this year, we have 180 students, which is spread out between an 8th grade orchestra, and then we have a 7th grade orchestra, and then we have several 6th grade orchestras, 4 smaller groups.
Finally, we're all doing the same thing. Good. Okay, how about this one? Everybody. 1, 2, ready.
When you come into the school in the morning and leave, you see all the kids carrying instruments. They're not only playing instruments in school, but they're excited to play instruments.
The way that the experience in the arts transforms an individual child, a team, whether that's a quartet or a whole band or an orchestra, but that transformation of how do we do things together? How do we become better together than we are individually? There are many, many lessons inside that arts experience that add value to a child's learning experience during the day.
I prefer to play with other people because you kind of feel a connection with them, and it's really fun. It's kind of like having a conversation. We often have sectionals where you go away and you list, like, you're with your group of instruments and you get to talk about the piece and discuss any issues that you might have and just play it together to practice. And it really helps form bonds between students when you're playing music together.
They don't know too much about each other per se, but when they come together as a group in music and they hear each other and the sounds they make together, it unites them.
I think music programs that are not individualized, but that are group classes, group music ensembles that perform, are really an essential piece of solving the problem of bullying, because all students need to be an active part. Everybody matters in an ensemble.
Our orchestra and the band and choir, we are a family. We look after one another, we support each other, and I really believe in that. It's become like a second family to me. I've made friends that will probably be my friends for my life. I love music. It's just become a part of who I am throughout middle school and high school, and it's just, I can't imagine my life without it.
Nolan was always a happy child, but a very quiet child, and this has been his outlet.
I believe that if students are struggling, the first place they should be is in a music classroom. Because you have a connection with an instrument, you have a connection with your creative mind. Most of the time when students act out, in my opinion, or struggle with things in their daily lives, it's because they don't have an outlet for their emotions.
We believe very much in the Ann Arbor Public Schools that the experience with the arts is fundamental to a child's development and learning. And it provides added value. So we don't see it as a takeaway, we see it as a value add. And by a value add, we mean that it enhances their experience, their engagement in learning, in all of their learning, not just the arts, but all of it.
If you are, let's say, in an algebra class and you're working diligently on solving problems, that's something that you do very independently, and it's right or wrong a lot of the time. But in here, we can explore one musical idea in multiple ways. And so with that creative aspect of nurturing in your education, you can do things that you never thought you could before. And it kind of takes your worldview of creative or nurturing ideas from here to here, and it expands your ideas of what could be.
If I feel like I'm doing well with violin, then I'll probably be doing well with homework aspects and academic studies, because it's usually that good feeling that pushes me forward to be able to actually finish my studies.
We know that our students develop understanding of people who are different from they are through that arts experience. We know that they develop connection. We know that it promotes their health and well-being. We know that they are more highly engaged in their learning and have fewer risky behaviors outside of school if they are engaged in the arts. And we have 3 decades of wide, deep research.
There's research around students who participate in music do better in a lot of different subject areas because of the science and the rigor that is required for musicianship. So I would respectfully disagree with any organization that did not see music as the cornerstone to developing the whole child.
Because it's built into the curriculum at such a young age, students, no matter what their financial situation is at home, no matter the level of support they have at home, all students in the Ann Arbor Public School get to try an instrument, and that's in 5th grade. And in the school system, as you move into middle school, if you need help with having an instrument, there's support for you. And so students of all backgrounds, of all financial needs, can have that same experience.
The fine arts, we know when there are budgetary cuts, when there are things that are happening, when there is no money in the budget, the first thing that goes is the fine arts. We have a thriving music program in every elementary school across our district. That's 21 schools. We also have a free instrumental music program for every 5th grader. You will touch an instrument as a 5th grader, and it's at no cost to our parents.
We wouldn't have a discussion about cutting math or cutting literacy, language arts, instruction. No more would we have a discussion about cutting the arts.
The history, the legacy of Elizabeth Green, M.J. Quigley Young, my predecessors, they set this program up for success by nurturing the soul, having a high level of expectation for what they do, but saying, here is that ultimate goal, and we are going to reach for it. Now, they do that, and then what happens is the students go home, and they're sitting around the dinner table. They talk about that with their families. Their families are thinking, wow, my son or daughter is incredibly engaged in this. There must be something to this. And then, so basically, by nurturing the child, the families embrace it, and then when it comes to the time where there might be a cut for music or music education, your #1 resource for support are your families and the people that you've taught. if the teachers continue to sell the idea that this is a place to nurture your soul and your heart and also have a level of accountability, precision, it's something you can learn in a music classroom, and dedication, consistency, how to practice is something to teach. If we keep nurturing those things, the community will come out and support us. Our students at our program here, we have what we call a citizenship expectation. So 100% of my students are expected to take their music in the community and use it in a helpful way.
We have many different nationalities in our school system and in our community. We have the University of Michigan here, so people come in from all over the world to study, to work. Music's universal, and so it speaks and relates to all of those.
The arts are that avenue through which people, no matter their differences of opinion, their differences in socioeconomic status or race or ethnicity or languages, they unite and come together through the arts and through the arts experience.
Once it's inside of you, once it's a part of your self-esteem, then it comes out to the rest of the world, and we become a better world, a better society for all people.